The return of the pigtails. Keep my hair out of the way. Can you tell I wore my lunch today? Look at that. Ugh, this shirt is soup. All down the tatas. Oh well. It is what it is. This is one of those shirts that's probably going to retire at some point. It's starting to get a hole here and wear out here. I had them in the pocket. Yeah, I hate when shirts I love start to wear out. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of October. It is Ock-freaking-tober. How did that happen? I don't know. Hi, kitty. She was asleep, but now she's right there looking at me. Heidi's down here on the floor because she was moping around because her dad left to go do bingo. He has to call bingo tonight, first Tuesday of the month. Because yesterday he goes, is there 31 days in September? I'm like, no, tomorrow's the 1st of October. He goes, dang it, I had to go work bingo tomorrow. And tomorrow he's supposed to take his sister out. She had wanted to go today, the 1st of the month. She gets money on the 1st of the month. So, you know, she's not going to have money in a couple days. So, he's going to take her out tomorrow. And today I took him out for lunch. We went and had a soup and salad at a little place, the 19th hole that we like to go to. And then we went to Martin's because they were having a sale on their canned goods. We use like canned mushrooms Dad likes to use for his spaghetti sauce and just a few things. And they have 39 cents a can, so we bought a case of mushrooms. And I wanted to get a case of sliced potatoes, but they were out. They were 39 cents a can also, so I got a couple cans of whole potatoes and a couple cans of diced potatoes. What are you doing? And then we stopped. He stopped at another store that he wanted to go in, so I waited in the car there. Nope. I had to save a lot. They had some things he wanted to buy. And we came home. And as soon as we got home, I'm going to beat you down right here live on camera. As soon as we got home, we got the stuff in the house, and then he went out and mowed, and I put all the stuff away and did the dishes and all that good stuff. And now I'm thinking about going out and watching my stuff on the DVR, because I still have a lot. Yesterday I watched quite a bit. Here, you want some of your treats? But I still have quite a bit. I think I have Grey's Anatomy. I have... Last night I watched Master Chef Junior. Those little kids can cook some stuff. Heidi's down here. She heard the treats are up on the bed, Heidi. You gotta get up on the bed if you want them. Get up on the bed. Jump up there. See her little head right there. You get up there if you want some. Go on. You can do it. She's used to them being thrown on the floor, so she's over here looking on the floor. They're up on the bed with the kitty. Go on. Get up there. Want me to throw you? No. There's only a couple up there. Go on if you want one. Go on. There's her little beanie head. No, she won't do it. Sometimes she jumps in the bed, sometimes she doesn't. Now she's going to whine. 1, her daddy's gone, and 2, the treats are up there. We got her some at Shipshawana. They had this fish jerky that stinks to high heaven for dogs. And she really likes it. The cat had gotten a bag of dried anchovies, which the cat really doesn't care for because I have a weird cat. It's okay, Heidi Ho. And all it is the actual whole fish dried. All it is anchovy. So one day I showed it to Heidi thinking you're not going to want it. And the little turd bucket ate it, and she loves the fish. I called the vet to make sure it was okay for her to eat anchovy. And I told them what they were, and they're like, that's fine. The fish oil in the fish itself is actually good for her skin and stuff. So now she'll eat little anchovy. So when we went to Shipshawana and I saw the fish jerky, I'm thinking, well, I'll get one of those. So next year when I go, if I see that again, I'm going to get some more. Because she really likes it, and boy, does it smell. Ooh. It's stinky! So stinky. I know I probably told you I got the fish jerky, but man. So that's what's happening today. Not really a whole lot. I got all my paperwork done last night, like I told you. And went to the bank, went to the city hall and paid my dump fees for where we dump our septage. We don't dump here in this town very often. And mailed some stuff out. I'm thrilling, huh? Let's think, what can I talk about? I'll ask you a question. What was your first job? My first job, well, I did some babysitting when I was a teenager. When I was like 14, 15. I wasn't driving yet. My mom had to take me. My first babysitting job was for a lady that my mom worked with. It was just for the summer when I was off of school. And she had a little girl named Courtney who was probably about 6 months old when I was watching her. And the lady also raised, she showed dogs. And the breed, her preferred breed that she had was the Pomeranian. And it was maybe a few years after the Pomeranian had won Westminster Dog Show, because I was a big Westminster Dog Show nerd. I loved watching it every year when I was a kid. I had visions of going to Westminster as a dog shower and winning it. Yes, I did. So I told my mom, like, I'm going to have one of them one day. And Mom's like, that is a long-haired dog. Your dad's never going to let you have a long-haired dog. Who now has a long-haired dog? Hi, Heidi, you long-haired wiener dog, you. Although we keep her cut short most of the time. So that was my first kind of job, was babysitting. And I remember, not only did I have to, take care of the little girl, when she was on naps, I would, the dogs were kept downstairs in the kennel area, and I would take them up out into the backyard to play. And they didn't know how to go up and downstairs, because apparently show dogs just don't have to do that. So I'd carry them up 2 by 2. She had like 4 down there. And, because she had Jammer, and Sparky, and Punchy, and another one. And then she had one big dog that they had got to show. It was a Bernese Mountain Dog, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous dog. And the dog had been taken to a dog show to be showed, and was sat there for a minute, and some kids came up and terrorized it through the cage. And that poor dog was scared to death of people. So it could never be showed because it was just terrified. Terrified. And, like, I would go get all the Pomeranians and put them in the backyard. And then I would go down, and she was in this big, like, it wasn't like a cage, it was a fenced-in area in the basement. And I'd open up the door, and I would go up the stairs, and I'd open up the back door and prop it open, and stand back so she couldn't see me. And she'd look around the corner, and then she'd run up and out the back door. And finally, I remember I cornered her out in the yard one time just to pet her to show her I wouldn't hurt her, and she was so scared. She peed. But finally, after I worked there for a while, she warmed up to me, and then she knew she could trust me. But I'm like, man, if I could have seen those kids that did that to her, right in the kisser. Why would you terrorize the dogs and scare them so bad? I just didn't get it. And she had one dog that she owned with one of her dogs was at the time in the top 10 or 15 stud Pomeranians in the country, so she always had dogs coming to get bred to him. His name was Jammer. Millimore's I'm a Windjammer, was that his name? He had some fancy name. And so upstairs in one of the little bedrooms there was actually a mother with 2 or 3 puppies, and those things were just so tiny. And when that was another thing I would do, I would get them out and let them run around and play, and you couldn't walk. You'd have to shuffle your feet, because if I stepped on one, it would have been just like a grease spot. But she had one dog that she owned with another lady down south, and she was not show-worthy anymore, and she needed a home. And she knew how much I loved the breed. And she's like, I'm going to call the lady I own this dog with, and if it's okay, would you like her? And I told my dad, I'm like, I'm going to bring home a dog for a weekend to see how it goes. And I never took her back. We just kept her. Dad's like, that was the longest weekend ever. And her name was Punchy. So, she was like 4 pounds, a little tiny little foofball. I wish I had I have some pictures of her somewhere. Because me and my friend Christy took her cat, and my friend Nikki took her schnauzer, and I took Punchy and my other dog, and we all went and had our picture taken together as a group at like a pet studio people. It was called Wolf Studios, and they took pictures of people and their pets. So I had one of just me and Punchy done, and one of me and Winnie done, and then we had a whole group shot of us, which was kind of interesting because none of the animals knew each other except for my two. So I didn't know how the dogs were going to react to the cat, but it worked out quite well. I'm just babbling now. But my first real job after babysitting, because I think a lot of girls babysat when they're teenagers. I did have like a day or two of working at a lollipop factory, but I don't consider a day or two really working somewhere. I was only maybe 16 or 17 when I did that. And not my cup of tea. So I started working at, I would go to this lady's doggy drive-thru. It was like a shed that she painted white and decorated. It was a wooden shed that she converted the inside to a little shop, and had a drive-up window cut out of the one side. So I'd go buy product from her for my dogs. And one day I was there, I was 17, maybe 18, and she's like, I have to run somewhere, would you watch this for me? And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I trust you. And I'm like, okay. So she offered me a job working for her, and that was my first real job, was working at the doggy drive-thru. She moved it to another location, and I ran that one pretty much by myself. It was in like a parking lot of like a strip mall, and we were closed Monday and Tuesday, and then we're open the other 5 days a week. And I would go man that, and in the winter time, when Christmas was starting to come, she made biscuits that were shaped like French fries that come in whole wheat or cheddar cheese, and cheeseburgers and hamburgers, and these pizza things are like this that you broke into 4 pieces. And at Christmas time she would make candy canes, and my friend Nikki would also come work, and we would wrap candy canes in white butcher paper and put curling ribbon on there, and they were bought by some of the veterinarians around the area who would give them out to their patients at Christmas time. And me and the dog, that business is still in existence. She has a whole building now, and she lives in part of it, and her ovens and stuff are in there, and she sells natural dog foods, and she has where you can go wash your dog there, and she does pet sitting, and she still has a drive-thru open. I haven't been there in years, but if you look up like the doggy drive-thru Niles, Michigan, you'll probably find it somewhere online. Yeah, she's been around for a long time. Yeah, and then once I was done with her, I immediately started working with, I knew she was getting ready to get rid of me, and because things were downsizing at that time a little bit, and then my mom said, you should put your application in where I work, because they're going to be hiring some temps. So I did, and I went to go work at Simplicity Pattern Company. I guess I'll talk about Simplicity in another video, because I've probably talked quite a bit. So I worked at Simplicity for a few years, but I worked full-time when I worked, but then you were laid off for chunks. I'll talk about that one day. I'll talk about Simplicity. That's where my mom worked for. She started working there before I was born. So our, Simplicity Pattern Company was always a part of my life. I am just babbling now. I am a babbling fool. But I guess I just want to know, what was your first job? My first official job was the doggy drive-thru. Okay, goodbye.